Hey guys, welcome back to a special crossover episode of Starcastic Remarks and Locked on Stars alongside Joey Erickson, former producer of 1053 The Fan. There you go, I threw it in there for you.
I
My name is
appreciate
Ryan
that.
Chambers, not former producer of 1053 The Fan, and we are here talking about this 5-3 win over the San Jose Sharks tonight. Joey, it was an awesome game. It was fun to watch, much more fun than we've seen from San Jose Shark games in the past. Um, give me your initial thoughts, vibes from this game.
Yeah, wildly entertaining stuff. For whatever reason, we were just talking about it off the air for a bit, but San Jose and the SAP Center just seems to deliver every time. And Wyatt Johnston just continues to maul the Sharks. And I don't know about you, but that final 10 minutes, I knew the Stars were going to win that game. It was chaotic. It was hectic. Even when Rantanen took that penalty, I thought to myself, the Stars are killing this off. It wasn't without a scare. And then they closed the deal, but much needed. It was nice to see they sort of picked up where they left off that third period against LA on Monday night. And they played really well. It was just wildly entertaining. Sharks are such a good team. Celebrini's out there dancing around. He probably should have had a couple of goals tonight, but Colin Graff, I guess, is going to be the thorn in the side of the Stars this year, and another couple of goals for him. But just a really, really fun hockey game, and nice that the Stars came out on the right side of the result.
Man, I don't know which rabbit hole to jump down that you just talked about there, but I guess I'll jump down this one first. Um, I haven't watched a whole lot of Macklin Celebrini, and we'll just start with this just to get the San Jose portion out of the way. If he's not on Team Canada, I will be thoroughly shocked. Holy crap,
Mhm.
can that kid play? 19, and he's third in the NHL in points, only behind some other big time names in the NHL. Like it seemed like every time he touched the puck, I got this like sudden, glimpse of anxiety, right?
Mhm.
The same kind of anxiety you get when you watch Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar,
Mhm.
Connor McDavid, Rantanen. I think you could add into that category a little bit. Like, my gosh, again, I don't know how he's not on Team Canada for the Olympic roster. Man, is he fun to watch, and he's such a good player.
He's special. He's so special. I got to watch him at BU for a couple years, and he would just dominate. He couldn't beat his alumni partner though, Jake Oettinger tonight, who made a couple spiffy stops on him. He was special. Happy birthday to Oettinger, by the way. What a birthday present! He was superb in the contest, and they needed him to be sharp because the Sharks threw everything at them. And it was well documented throughout the night that the Sharks can erase goals, or can erase leads, I should say. And they have erased a couple leads. So I think it's a real credit to Dallas. I thought they responded really well after San Jose was able to get some momentum, or if they scored, felt like Dallas came out, responded, and they never surrendered the lead. So I think that's a great sign against a team that is young. And I sort of talked about in my preview, young teams can be naive. They don't care what the score is. They're going to just keep playing. And they did till the final buzzer tonight, pulling the goalie again, even down two, just to try to make things interesting. So I thought that was I thought it was sort of a nice dynamic of the Stars, who have been winning for a while now, got the veteran presence and all that, and a young Sharks team that's starting to take a jump. And I think you see how they kind of handle the third periods, and it made for a really, really fun 60 minutes.
Ottinger was fantastic tonight. That I wanted to jump on that first off because he that looked like even though he did give up 3 goals tonight, that looked like prime Jake Oettinger. That's probably one of the best games I've seen him play this whole season. And it wasn't just his positioning, which we always talk about, him using his height to his advantage and all of that stuff, just his big body, but dang, he made some really fantastic saves. And I think there was none bigger than that. I guess you can call it a toe save, even though it wasn't really a toe save. It was just like right on the edge of his left pad. I believe it was on who was it? I had it here somewhere. I forgot, but there was just a really big rebound chance there at the end of the third period. I thought it was going to go in. I was like, "Oh my gosh, here we
Yeah,
go
I think
again."
that. Yeah, I think that was Celebrini. Maybe I'm mistaken on that, but I know exactly the one you're talking. The one he kicked out that Ben ended up scoring
Yes.
on, I think, on the empty net. Yeah, that was, and he made the one on Celebrini. I think it was the second period, moving to his left on the one timer where Klingberg set him up. That was a heck of a stop. He was full spread eagle on that one, and I think he got his glove on it. Like, that's a special save that he made. And I think you're exactly right. It's probably one of the better games he's played, probably the best game you can play, giving up 3 goals, and was really locked in from the jump. And when the Stars get above average net minding, they just can't lose. I say it's kind of maybe elementary to say, but I think it's so true with Dallas. You just, if DeSmith or Oettinger is above average, the Stars are going to beat a lot of teams.
Yeah, both of those guys have been just fantastic for this team, and I don't know another way to put it other than they're probably one of the best tandems in the NHL right now.
Well, not according to The Athletic, Ryan. They were ranked 12th.
I don't care what The Athletic
I don't know
says.
if you saw that, but I did a whole episode ranting about it because I was so irritated.
I listened to it.
12th. I was like, this is just stupid. I had to do a whole episode on it, and I hate doing that, but I was like, I'm going after, can't even remember the article or who it was written by, but I was like, I'm doing an episode on this because this is tragic.
Tell me you live on the East Coast and don't watch Stars hockey without telling me you don't. Like,
yeah, and I know Oettinger hasn't been lights out this year, but even then, even if he's average, it's 12th. Yeah. Well,
no.
the Sharks net minding was above them. So after watching Nedeljkovic just give Retskovian a goal tonight, maybe we can have an update to the Athletic list.
Yeah. Right. You know what? No, it's okay. You know what? Now I'm going to go ahead and go do it. Now you've got me on this bandwagon. I'm going to go and throw it in their face. Hey, Athletic, 12th we're 12th, and you got the San Jose Sharks, and just leave just like a gif of the Nedeljkovic doing what he did. My gosh, man.
That ended up being the GWG too, which is hilarious.
It was. Ritzkovian. Thank you, Ritzkovian.
Yeah, man, he needed it.
Well, in terms of, game setup and early feel for it, the same lineup as Monday. There was no difference other than Oettinger was in. And I think the biggest thing I was mostly interested in, and this is the one comment I made, was this was their first time they had gotten to play a game with 2 days of rest. Yes. And in like a month? I think the last time was like early November that they had a chance to do that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, it was perfect timing. Honestly, against a young and very hungry Sharks team, I thought that. I don't think they took it to the Sharks. I think the Sharks kind of pushed back, and they both did well. Both teams played well. But what do you think about that? Do you think they showed the same energy tonight that they didn't show when they had that 2-game skid?
Yeah, they just looked more up to it. They looked fresh. I thought they had some juice really tonight throughout the game. I think that 2 days did wonders, because it was a week and a half of so-so hockey from Dallas, and they were still getting some decent results, but it just felt like they were hanging on and maybe looking ahead to this 2-game break. And they look fresh. I thought you could see it. I think it's really easy to see, especially early, if they're snapping it around and they're making plays. I think they get some of that lethargic out when they get the couple days rest. Then they're all moving well, and I thought the lineup looked great tonight. Dutchy was good in spots. I like him alongside Rantanen and Johnston, although at this point, I don't know if it matters who you put with 53 and 96. They're just going to figure it out. Rope and Robo looked dangerous. I know they didn't end up on the score sheet, but they had some really good chances. And I think it's what you expect from those two lines, right? Hint's line had 9 scoring chances of the game. Matt's line, Duchesne's line had 7. I thought it was just a really strong game from the top line all the way down to the bottom. It was, I think, a good night for the Stars' depth. They stacked shifts together, which was, I think, a good sign. They were able to stack some. There was that second period where they were just leaning on the Sharks. The Sharks iced it a couple of times, and Dallas had like 3.5 minutes of zone time. It never ended up in a goal, but those types of shifts and those types of stretches just wear down teams. and was nice to see, because we haven't seen a lot of that. It's been a lot of one and done, it feels like. And one thing I really noticed too is maybe is part of the freshness. They weren't tracking back to their net as much. A bit in the first period they were. The Sharks are quick in transition, and they had to back check a little bit. But as the night went along, I don't think the Stars, they didn't give San Jose a bunch of cheapies. And they did make them earn all their goals tonight.
I'm gonna hit on 3 points. I love all the stuff that you said. I use that word lethargic all the time when it talks, because it's never, some people are like, oh, they didn't care tonight and they just didn't have the energy and blah blah. They're lazy. I'm like, dude, have you seen these guys skate? Like, once I started playing E-League hockey the last several months, like I don't say anything about stuff. I get it. I'm dead and tired after a 30-second E-League beer league shift. I'm not gonna say anything like that. So I'm glad that you use the word lethargic like I do. I like your term of stacking shifts. Like, that is something that we didn't see a whole lot of in DeBoer's time here. Like, we saw it sometimes ish, but that's something that I have really liked to see out of this team, is when you get all of the lines going and rolling 4 lines like DeBoer wanted to do. I think that's one of the reasons why we saw at the end of the second period, beginning of the third, that bottom 6 get shifted around a little bit. We saw that reunification, sorry, big word, of that Quebec line. And then Foxa, Blackwell, and help me out here, Steele get put back together as 2. And I didn't think they were playing bad, towards the end of the second period, but maybe Golitzson was just like, you know what? Maybe we just need to spend a little bit more time in the offensive zone. And I know that Quebec line doesn't necessarily like score all that much, but they definitely do spend a whole heck of a lot of time in the offensive zone. And they kind of started that whole stacking of shifts like you were talking about towards the end of the second, and then they continued that into the third. So I love that that you said that as well. So, man, there's so many other things that we could talk about here tonight, but what I do want to jump on real quick is I was going to go through just like chronologically through the periods, but I don't think there's a whole lot to kind of talk about other than can we talk about the special teams here for a second? Because it was, both sides were fantastic tonight. I mean, the penalty kill, it seems like they've kind of like shifted as the season has gone on. The PK really sucked at the beginning of the year. The power play was fantastic. 40% on home ice. I think they're still first in the NHL in terms of their power play percentage overall. And I'm not saying that like the power play has like really, really dropped, but I think they said something about like they were 0 for 5 on the radio side. I think Bruce Levine said something about that before the game started on the pregame show. And they get another goal here tonight, and of course it's the copyrighted low triangle tic-tac-toe play from Rantanen to Johnston. That's just ridiculous. I don't know how you don't have that sniffed out. If like, you have to be like, there's so, if we as regular fans can see that and be like, oh, here it comes, oh, you're screwed, then how do they not? I don't get it.
It's just so hard to defend. I think it's nearly impossible to defend, especially when the Stars move the puck like they do so quickly. It's the dead spot where when you're in a box, are you in your diamond shape as a PK unit? That is the one spot that's pretty hard to cover. And if you do, then somebody's probably out of position and they don't want to give up the backdoor tap in, right? That's the easy one, because Rantanen could easily just slide it across to the back door if someone steps down. So it's just so hard it's so hard to defend. And plus Johnston, I think his smaller stature, he gets lost, I feel like. And he doesn't need much to get his shot off. He can kind of choke up. Even the one tonight, it's not like it was in his wheelhouse. It was a good pass, but I wouldn't say it was. If you asked him more, if you asked him where would you like a puck, I don't think he would choose that one. And he was still able to get a lot on it. And man, he has become something special on the power play, and they're just snapping it around so so well. And like the play they have done, they scored on 100 times already, is something I feel like I was screaming about last year. They could never get that bumper spot. It felt like they could never work it down low and find a guy like Johnston in front of the net like they do now. And now they just do it at will. They just kill teams on it. As you said, it's got to be the one thing oppositions scout on coming into the game. 53 is going to be right here, guys. Let's take him away. I just think also, if it's not 53, it's going to be 96, or it's going to be 21, or it's going to be even 4, right? There's so many different options, and you kind of have to pick your poison. So maybe we'll see teams just completely take him away. Stars will have to make some adjustments. But on the special teams conversation as a whole, the PK was awesome. They didn't give up a shot in the final penalty kill of the night on that one against Ranson, and they took time off the clock. They're just being so aggressive right now. They don't allow teams to walk into the attack zone easy. They pressure the entries, and with San Jose and their ability to move the puck, but thought the Stars, they didn't get caught chasing. They got some shooting lanes and made some blocks, and Otter was great too, which you need some of that. They ended up with 7 shots in the first 2 power plays. So they had some looks. But for the most part, I feel like recalling, I don't recall seeing like, oh, that was a chance that San Jose should have scored on the power play. There wasn't like one of those looks. There was a couple jams in tight, but other than that, man, they're just taking the right stuff away. They're getting sticks in lanes, breaking it up. And it's the Blackwells of the world. It's a back. Hey, I've seen a lot of stuff in hockey in my 26 years now. I've never seen Blackwell just like bear crawl a puck out of the zone without a stick.
That was amazing.
I was dying laughing in my bed watching it. I couldn't believe I just watched. I was losing it because Lindell's right there. I'm like, just bump it to him. Like, what are you doing? Like, bump it to Lindell. He's got a stick. And then Blackwell just like crab walks it out. That was awesome.
That's what everyone expected him to do. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to do the unpredictable play and he just shuttle it out myself. That was that was awesome.
With himself.
Well, I guess this is a good time to focus on all of those players that don't always get a lot of the accolades that they probably deserve. And especially with Wyatt Johnston kind of taking a more prominent role on the offensive side of the game. He's kind of been, I don't want to say he will never play penalty kill minutes, but he has not played that much penalty kill this year compared to last year under DeBoer. But like, just name the players that deserve all of these accolades. I mean, you mentioned one of them with Blackwell. Beck is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Lindell is probably the one that deserves all of the accolades for all of this. But Miro, I mean, and then the one that I didn't even really think about that Razor really highlighted at the end, and I was just like, oh yeah, duh, Ilya Lyubushkin. People, I know there's some people, and actually some very good Twitter friends of mine who think that we could do without Ilya Lyubushkin, and him not being on the team would not be the worst thing in the world if he just like disappeared. But I think a game like tonight is a reason why there's a role for every single person on this team. And honestly, just like we talked about how the penalty kill, or the power play was like the definition, the Stars' bread and butter for the first, quarter of the season, that it's kind of getting overshadowed right now by the penalty kill. The penalty kill has been absolutely ridiculous. I think they were on a streak of 34 in a row, 35 in a row, until it recently got broken. But man, those guys that don't get enough credit deserve more accolades tonight, because I think I've been talking about a turning point in the game, and for me, that is one of the biggest turning points in the game here tonight. Is just the penalty kill was unmatched against a really good San Jose Sharks power play.
Yeah, it gives you momentum when you're able to get through it like they did, and especially the first 2 where they did take on some water, but you get a big stop and you're able to get a big kill. It just invigorates a group. And the nice thing is about not having to maybe use a Wyatt Johnston or Rope Hintz as much on the penalty kill, it keeps them rested for the shift after you get a kill, and then you're able to trot them out there, and maybe you're able to punch back coming off of it. And like Oscar Beck he's sort of turning into the S. Lindell of the Ford group, or you just don't really talk about him, but he just kind of goes about his business. Look, he's not flashy. He's never going to be sexy, but he wins the majority of his boards battles. He broke up a play on that final power play for San Jose. There was a pass that he got a stick on, and then he was able to get it down the sheet, and you get off for a change that doesn't show up anywhere on the stat sheet. But it's a massive thing, and it's one that's certainly going to get you a lot of bumps and butt taps on the bench for. Those are the type of plays that teammates see, and it gives you juice when you're able to get off. When you're able to get out of those type of hairy situations. Lyubushkin is one of those defensemen. Sometimes you kind of have to live with some of the mistakes. I think he was on the ice for a couple of the goals, not that they were his fault by any stretch. There's going to be some lapses, but more often than not, he eats up minutes. Of course, he gives Dallas a bit of a physical edge, which they've missed with Bischel. And again, I'll always argue I need him on the third pair, not in your top four. That's important. But if he's on your third pair and he kills penalties for you, then I think you're in a decent spot. And that's kind of where he's slotted right now with Lundqvist coming back. They threw him with Petrovic. And it gives me a little Lindell Hakanpää vibes, mobility wise, and maybe the lack of skill trying to maybe move the puck up the ice. But for the most part, they hold their own. And you just need guys like that. Look, it's what, not even halfway through the year. The Stars have been through a lot. They're just having to kind of grind out some of these games. And you need your guys down the lineup. Like, you can let Mikko and them boys do what they do, but the Blackwells of the world, the Steels, the Beck, when you need some energy, they give you some. And I thought that's exactly what they did. And a lot of times before Ranson or Johnston ends up burying a puck, it probably came nearly after or right after a shift by one of those bottom six guys. Like, that's just, it's all about setting the next lineup for success. I think they do a great job of that, hanging on to pucks, cycling. That was another thing I thought the Stars did well. They cycled, extended shifts, and they also got pucks on net off of those shifts instead of just holding on to it. I know that's been sort of an area that they would like to improve and get more shots on net. And I think they outshot San Jose 27-25 at 5-on-5 tonight. So that's a good sign, and hopefully it's a trend that continues.
Yeah, and if you want to look at time on ice in terms of who your top four is, Ilya Lyubushkin is your number 5 right now. That's exactly where you want him to be. And yeah, I'm honestly a little bit surprised that Petrovic is not being played more based off of what he's shown. Like, honestly, I would trust him more in the top 4 than Ilya Lyubushkin. And maybe that's not fair to Ilya Lyubushkin, but it's just Petrovic has just been so ridiculously solid and very. I mean, he's even had shots on net where I'm like, oh, okay, that's actually a pretty decent chance. Like, go do that again, Petrovic. And he got like his first goal in like what, 6 years or something like that here recently.
Yeah.
So.
No, he's like, he just kind of stabilizes the blue line. Frankly, I'd like to see Capobianco a bit too. I like his game. I thought he would have thrived in a game like this tonight. But Petrovic is sort of kind of feels like you want him to be your Joel Hanley a bit. Like, you want him to.
You want him to be the 7th guy.
Yeah, like ideally, look, that's not what the Stars can deal with right now. I mean, I get that he's going to play, and he's earned it too. I'm not saying he's been bad, but I think I kind of had this conversation with Kolyachonok being waived, and yeah, it stings, but big picture, like, I don't know if they're going to be
number 9 or number 10.
Yeah, I don't think a Petrovic, and maybe unfair to say since he's had a couple of really nice playoff runs with Dallas, but if the Stars are going to get where they want to be, like, I don't know if Petrovic's going to be playing more than 14 minutes a night in a playoff game. I think you'd like to have a little bit more, a little bit, I guess, firepower on the blue line. But as of right now, like you need some guys. You can never have too many. Hopefully the Stars will make some moves and really solidify the decor, and they'll be off and running. But one thing I love about Petrovic, since I want to give him some flowers. I think he does a nice job of it's again really rudimentary, elementary stuff. But I like that he just makes passes on the tape out of the zone. I feel like he makes the simple pass up the ice on the tape and allows the Stars to get out of their zone cleanly. That's one of the things with Labushkin that irritates me sometimes. He just kind of throws some pucks up the wall, and it turns into turnovers. And look, everybody's going to have one of those.
Bishop does that too a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, come on. At least Bishop can be like a battering ram and clean it up.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, come on. But that's one thing about Petrovic, as you said, just he kind of makes small, simple plays easy, and that's big.
Let me throw this at you too, because since we were talking about the penalty kill a little bit, it has actually been very rare this year for me to say this, but I'm going to complain about the officiating today.
Yes, and I'm okay with that.
It ended the way that it probably should have, but when you have Miro Heiskanen yelling at a ref and just letting the ref have it, that I mean, and you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't, I'm talking about when it went up to 4-3 and Colin Graf got his second goal of the game. And the opposite end of the zone, there Miro takes it down low, takes it behind Nedeljkovic, and to Nedeljkovic's right corner, he basically gets hooked, pulled down, and then he gets shoved. when the guy doesn't have it's actually Colin Graf who doesn't have his stick. So this is like, pick your poison, like choose something like that was the most obvious penalty. And then literally like 4 or 5 minutes later, it's because it's Mikko Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen has that that diving that diving kind of thing with the refs, and the refs are looking to get him, and that was the biggest touch foul I think I've ever seen. And I had the exact same thought as Razor. Like, I mean, should he be reaching for it? Probably not. You should probably be using your feet. But there were so many other things that were not called, and that's the one that you choose. And this could be. The refs know what happened in the last couple of games for the San Jose Sharks. They know that there have been some comebacks by them. This is how you're going to let them come back in the game? Like, don't. And it's not like that the San Jose Sharks had been just like completely pounding the Stars the entire time or anything like that in terms of like the pressure on the ice. The Stars were handling it very well in the third period, I thought. And then they basically just got gifted the San Jose Sharks a power play, and then the Stars PK, which it was fun to watch them pull off the heroics, all of the, like we already talked about it with Blackwell and stuff, but it should have never happened. Never happened.
Yeah, I think I think at this point it feels like Mikko just has a bit of a bounty on him. Whatever he does, the refs are going to seem to nab him for whatever reason. I think, as you said, I thought they were handling it pretty well. I think the Stars had a couple scoring chances right before that. The bin line came out and they had a couple looks, Robo. And I just kept thinking to myself, the Stars are going to score here. And then, as you said, the penalty was called, and I always say the same thing. I say, "You're kidding me." And then it is followed by soft. And I thought it was a bit of a soft call. You mentioned the Miro one. I just like that gets called every time. I feel like if anybody gets a stick in the midsection, especially up in the armpit, it's like always called. It's almost automatic. The arm has to go up. And for whatever reason, that one stayed out. So it is irritating. But that's what I love about the Stars penalty kill, because that happens. It happens quite a bit. Not just to the Stars, a lot of teams where you get those calls and those really critical junctures of hockey games that just irritate you. but outside of Miko, everybody else was pretty relaxed.
Mhm.
I love watching him bark on his way off, and maybe that's why you saw Miro a little bit getting on the stripes. I think he's maybe it's rubbing off. Miko's rubbing off on all the fans. He's like, you gotta, you don't have to be all these quiet Euros. Like let's get fired up a bit. But
Well,
everybody else is
even
cool,
that
calm,
shift
collected.
that
They get it done.
Well, even that shift that that Miko had after he came out of the box, I just typed down in my notes. I just like,
Yes.
Moose looks pissed,
Yeah, it looks like
and
he's gonna kill
just
somebody. He went in the corner
I
with
thought he was.
Graf, and you saw Graf like backed up, like Rika was gonna pound him in the corner. And Graf is like, you know what? I saw you destroy that guy in Calgary. I'll probably just sit this one out. I got a couple goals tonight. I'm good. I don't need to be out a couple games if you hammer me.
Well, I do want to go back to this that I think this is a very big game for the Dallas Stars. Because this is a very different team. Like for those that don't pay attention to the standings very much, this San Jose Sharks team is currently in a playoff spot.
Mhm.
I don't know if that changes after tonight. It might change after wins and losses and for tonight, but they were in a wild card spot at the beginning of the day here today. So this is and I mean a lot of that is kind of stipulated by the play of Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, apparently Colin Graff, who has the Stars number for some reason. Um, so this is a really big win. This is a good win against a different style team and how they go about their business. And we've seen the Stars do it numerous different ways. And the mark of a good team is they are able to play different ways. We got into a little bit of a track meet there in the third period, which worried me a little bit because we do have individuals who can keep up with the speed, but as a team, that's definitely advantage
Yeah.
San Jose, and it started to get kind of quelled down a little bit. The Stars threw some cold water on it about 6 minutes remaining in the third period. But I just wanted to throw out there that I love the fact that the Stars are able to play different ways and win games.
Yeah, they have to. And they got another one tomorrow night, right?
Right,
And
9 o'clock
Anaheim beat
start.
yeah, and they beat the brakes off them at home. So hopefully there's a little bad taste in their mouth. As you said, like San Jose is a real team this year. They have a lot of good players,
And they're fun.
and
They're
it's
fun
and
to
they're not all
watch.
they're not all young. Like they got a Toffoli. Klingberg was moving around tonight. I watching Klingberg. I'm like
Oh,
he looks awesome, but also, I feel like the majority of awesome chances the Stars had, like the majority of great agent came against Klingberg. like,
well,
like he gives
that's
you a lot offensively, but man, he gets lost up the ice quite a bit.
That's what I did want to point that out is that during the Rantanen, power play for the Sharks, there were three plays during that 2 minute period where it was Klingberg who was the reason why the puck got out of the zone.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
he actually ended up grading out as I like the hockey stat card stuff. He was
oh,
the
I love
worst
that
player in
too.
the game. He ended up as the worst player of the game.
Whew.
So yeah, him and Labushkin are actually bringing up the rear end. But man, offensively, he still got it, man.
He
He still
does.
got it. But that's I guess that's sort of how those type of defensemen age, right? Klingberg, there
Right.
was a 3-year stretch where he was good at both. Like he was pretty decent. He was never elite, but he could do enough. But he's more of a Carlson than he is a Miro.
Mhm.
So it doesn't age always gracefully, but yeah, it's always fun watching him. He's still slippery as can be.
Well, I got two more things I want to talk about, and the second one is biggest winner, biggest loser. That's normally what I do on this. So I'll give you a heads up on however you want to do your biggest winner, biggest loser. But there is one more player that I think deserves a little bit more recognition here tonight, and we have mentioned him, but we need to talk about him separately for just a second here. Wyatt Johnston. There, it's at that point where we talked about at least on I've heard you talk about it actually on your show when I listened to your show is that we've been talking for several years as to who's that superstar elite player that the Stars needed. This is a team of really good players. There's a lot of good players on this team,
Yeah.
and they could make it a deep run. And then we went out and got Miko, and then that we were like, okay, well, that's the answer. The answer is Miko, and that's not who we thought it was going to be. But this year, it's kind of shown that while Miko is the one that is like the guy that you consider the guy, Wyatt Johnston is not far behind that. I think he's starting to get into that category of like players that you don't want to see coming down the ice towards you if you're an opposing goalie. Like he is starting to show himself as one of those superstar players. I don't think he's quite up there in the world with like the Macklin Celebrinis, the Connor McDavids, or anything like that. But he has definitely shifted his tier level status from like a tier 3 or 4 to like a tier 2, maybe even like a 1B. And I love the fact that we get to watch this guy kind of age in front of our eyes and become I'll say it. He's a superstar at this point for me.
Absolutely. He's not just a sidekick. He is lugging the mail for Dallas. And he is their number one center in a lot of ways. I know Rope is kind of that guy, but Wyatt Johnston is as impressive as can be. I've loved him from the moment I think he stepped on the ice as a Dallas Star. And we thought, well, he'll maybe only be here for a half dozen games. Then next thing you know, he's playing the entire year, has a decent playoff run. And I think the more impressive thing is he just continues to get better year after year. This is a fourth straight season. He's going to set career highs in goals, unless he goes off a cliff.
He's already done that in his power play goals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the power play goal. Well, that's because really he's actually getting power play time because the Stars have been so deep. He was young. He didn't get a ton of power play time. He was never on the number one unit. He got some looks on the second unit, but now he is getting like number one usage time. So this could have been in him a couple years ago, and the Stars were just so deep. They had so many different players. They had to kind of fit into the mold that they weren't able to maybe get him as much time as he probably warranted. But he's already got 17 goals. He's got 39 points. I think he's like a 96-point pace or something like that. And it's every year. He plays 82 games, and his point totals go up. His goal numbers go up. His assist numbers go up. I think that is really, really impressive in itself. And he seems to be stronger. He continues to drive plays. And when you have a player like Mikko Rantanen, just go to the net. We saw that with Rope's first goal. Like, just get to the front of the net. If Mikko has a puck in the corner, you go to the net, you will score goals because Mikko will find you. And if you're able to, if you're able to get in the right spots, you can bury pucks. And that's one of the things. His hockey IQ is incredible. He is always in the right spot. He's never out of position. He's smart defensively. He is good along the walls. He's shifty. He makes the smart play. He can hang on to pucks. He uses guys to his advantage. He makes players around him better. That's usually a calling card of a star. And he is certainly going to be a star. He's going to be overshadowed by Mikko and what Robo's been doing lately. But he is a star. And you mentioned Celebrini should be on Team Canada. Wyatt Johnston should be at least on the bubble. He should be sniffing around because he's been that stinking good. And there's a couple Canadians down here in Corpus Christi with the Ice Rays that they're even touting for him to be on the roster. So they have the Wyatt Johnston fever bug a little bit too. It's probably just because we're in Texas, but there's some Canadians that are talking about him. They like his game. So it's amazing. And I say it about Mikko a lot. Like, I feel spoiled that we get to watch this every night. And it's fun to watch when 53 and 96 are doing what they can do.
Well, why don't you just tell your Canadian friends down there to hit Doug Armstrong up on the phone and tell him to do the right thing, man? Like, come on now.
Well, I think Jim Nill is probably in the building. That at least he has somebody on his side. So
right,
since
true.
I think
there
he's about the assistant, so that's good. He's already got somebody in there. I'm sure he's doing his best to get him in there, or maybe he's not. Maybe he wants Wyatt to have a couple of weeks rest and then be ready to go.
Man,
push.
that's a whole can of worms that we could talk about another time. But
Well, unfortunately, we have like half a dozen guys going to Finland that will play like 80 minutes a
yeah,
night. So
that I am very worried about that, to be honest with you. But I just have to hope and pray. Okay. Let's go ahead and wrap it up because very quickly, or I guess time can't go quickly, but we were already at like 40 minutes in terms of recording time. So, biggest winner, biggest loser. Do you got one?
I do. Can I lead off with the biggest loser?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, the biggest loser is hockey stick manufacturers because Colin Blackwell doesn't need one. Hockey stick man, who needs a stick? He was a genius. Again, that is the moment from tonight's game. Outside of anything, who cares about the win? Colin Blackwell single-handedly broke a puck out against like two different Sharks players with his hands. That was awesome. And as I said, I've seen a lot. I have not seen that one yet. And I'm glad it happened tonight. And I'm glad it happened on the West Coast late. It was perfect.
Yes.
It's like Pacific Division After Dark, like the old Pac-12 After Dark used to be called. That's what it is. The Pacific Division After Dark. You get some nastiness in the game.
My biggest, the real biggest loser is the officiating, because I hated it tonight. It was that could have been the difference in the game, and thank goodness it wasn't. But I'm gonna go off the board a little bit. It has nothing to do with the game here tonight. I'm going to give the biggest loser to Stan Bowman, because Stan Bowman goes out, trades Stuart Skinner away, gets Tristan Jarry, and about a week and a half later, what happens to Tristan Jarry? Tristan Jarry apparently is hurt, and now your starting goalie is even worse, Calvin Pickard.
Yeah, I saw that. Do they know the timeline on this, or is it still kind of up in the air? But I did see. Well, that's like his thing too, right?
Is he? Yeah, he typically does.
Yeah, he's like always hurt.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
the
timing of it is just so bad, though.
Yes,
so bad. So,
did you see that? Dude, when Draisaitl got his 1,000th point and like Skinner's just in the crease.
Oh, I felt
celebrating around him. I
felt so bad for him.
It's like an ex-girlfriend, like with a much hotter guy next to you.
Right. Exactly.
And they're hugging.
He's just sitting there, just like he's just like sitting there cleaning his crease, and like if he was literally on that team like 3 or 4 days ago, and if he had still been on that team, then he would have been doing the exact same thing. He would have been, clobbering Draisaitl and congratulating him on his 1,000th point. That's just a weird situation, man. And I think that was the first time in NHL history where two goalies who had previously been on opposite teams played against each other in the same game within a week. That's just the weirdest stat, but at the same time, not something you would expect to happen.
Yeah.
So I think where did I get that from? I think I stole that from, I stole that one from 32 Thoughts. I need to give the accolades to 32 Thoughts there. But I guess my biggest winner tonight, it should be probably Wyatt Johnston or Jake Oettinger or Mikko Rantanen. But I'm going to give it to the Stars penalty kill tonight. Just they continue to be they are now the bread and butter of the Dallas Stars. It's not the power play right now, which has still been very good, not as hot, but still been pretty good. The penalty kill has just roared back from how terrible it started at the beginning of the season. It's just been absolutely excellent. And all the players we mentioned, Blackwell, Steele, Beck, Lindell, Lyubushkin, Miro, whoever you want to throw in for that, they're truly the biggest winners here for me tonight, because that penalty against Rantanen, that they did not allow it to be a factor in the game.
Yes, correct. They, as I said, they just shrug it off and they just go about their business. I want to give an honorable mention for my winner for Mikko, because I do. Well, yes, and I enjoy people getting riled up about him this year because it's like the South Park episodes, like, oh, the tears of sadness. I love people getting riled up and they're mad at him because I'll say it. I'm going to defend him till the very end. I love that he plays the way he is right now. And again, I'm not advocating for players to go hurt. other players. That's not what I'm advocating for, but I like that he plays on edge. And he took another penalty tonight, and he had 2 points. So suck it. That's what he does. Like he's the lead as they can do. It's like like it's so brilliant. And you can go after him. Try. The guy's a brick house. You don't see anybody try to stick up to him because he's a moose. So honorable mention to him. It's another penalty and another 2 points. The beat goes on for Mikko. But I want to give it to Justin Ritzkovian, easiest goal he'll ever score in the NHL.
That's true.
I mean, how could you you just had to just plant your feet, just put your tape out there, put the blade out there, let Dekovic give you a nice little setup, and he ripped it in. So big winner for Ritzy. It's another goal from him. And also, I think it's just a larger point is Ritzkovian deserves to be on this team. Like he coming in, we didn't think he was going to be on the roster, and then injuries happened. And now you're thinking, okay, yeah, he should have been here since day one. That's how well he's played. And maybe the points aren't coming as steady as probably he would like. But I love his game. He had such a good month of November. And I think I think he can carve out like a Sam Steele type of career. That's what he can be. And if he's more than that, I mean, that's phenomenal. But he can have that type of career. And it seems like he can be a guy that can, probably score more than Steele has probably had. Like I think he could kind of get up around, he can kind of flirt with, 15, 20 goals a year. He's just, man, and he can pack a punch too. I like it. I love his game. So I'll give my big winner to him since it's sort of an unsung hero episode.
Yeah. Well, I still love that he went after Marchand. That was awesome. Like not many people have the guts or the chutzpah to go after a guy like that. But man, I especially after the Florida game, after the Florida Panthers really just manhandled the Stars. I loved that. Love seeing that from Ritzy, and just, hey, next time y'all are here, you ain't running us over like that again. Like we're gonna be better prepared. I loved that. So. Well, Joey, this has been fun, man. I kind of reached out to you a little later than I intended, and I was like, "Hey, let's do this," and you're like, "Sure, let's do this."
Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on. It's a lot of fun, and glad I could stay up late with you a bit. I'm sure you needed some company since the Chamber brothers presumably in sleep right now, catching some Z's, but we're grinding and we're making content. And appreciate you having me on. It's always a fun time getting to chat with you. And look forward to doing it again soon.
Likewise. Make sure you guys go and like and subscribe to both of our shows, Locked On Stars. Joey does an excellent job over there. On top of his regular job as the play-by-play for the Corpus Christi Ice Rays of the NAHL. He does a great job over there. So make sure you give him some love over there. And as well, we'd appreciate it if you would love us over here. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. So close on the YouTube channel for us. But just make sure you click like and subscribe for us, please. We'd appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And we appreciate all of you guys following along and staying up with us. Y'all are nuts. It's 12:43 in the morning. Go to bed for those of you that are watching us live. But we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Alongside Joey, my name's been Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the next time in the next episode of either Locked On Stars or Starcastic Remarks. Goodbye, everybody.